WWE are going to run out of ideas for more than one individual, and eventually it's going to lead to the inevitable of them being released. I mean, WWE could have pushed the Bella Twins with Nikki Bella being the Divas champion, but because WWE ran into a bit of trouble with the Bella Twins, they had no other alternative but to release them. And divas and wrestlers in the past have fallen into that same category where WWE have ran out of ideas for them and had no other alternative to make but to release them. I mean, Charlie Haas was a fantastic talent. You had him come out mimicking wrestlers for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you ran out of ideas for the guy. You ran out of superstars for him to, imposter, and then you got rid of him because you couldn't give him a substantial push for the Intercontinental Championship, which could have easily been done. Shelton Benjamin was another guy who you could have easily pushed for the Intercontinental Championship in 2010, but you didn't. And a lot of wrestlers that if I were to name, we would be here for hours, have fallen into that same category, and Kane could be the next one. I spoke so highly of the direction that WWE were taking Kane in. The Masked Kane was back for the first time since '98, and you are just consistently fucking him up every week. He's a part of the Raw Super Show. All the talent of WWE are on the Raw Super Show. They're making the move to 3 hours. And what are you doing with a legend like Kane? You're just embarrassing him from week to week to week. We're not getting any answers to any of the questions that we have with this AJ Kane Punk thing. It's getting more confusing every week. I see AJ and Kane teaming up. The next minute AJ's kissing Kane, and then all of a sudden CM Punk is involved. I mean, where are you really going with this thing? Is it really, leading up to anything? That's what I'm wondering. I don't think it is leading up to anything, and everything that you're doing has no purpose. The only purpose I see is pushing AJ, and really is she the one that needs to be benefiting in this angle with Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Kane? Should it be Kane? I think it should be, because the man hasn't held a championship since 2010. The man hasn't even had a 6 to 8 month reign as the WWE champion or the world champion since 1997. That's 13, 14 years ago. If Kane should have been champion, it should have been during the Attitude Era for about 6 months. When he had the championship for the first time in June of '98, you shouldn't have took the championship off him because you had a bit of doubts in his ability, and you had only introduced him to the WWE fans over a year ago. Less than that. I mean, why? Why put the championship on someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin all the time when you could have been pushing a legend like Kane? I mean, if Kane should have been WWE champion, yes, it should have been in the Attitude Era, not 10 years after winning his first WWE championship. I mean, it's just crazy. Nearly a decade since Kane wins the championship. I mean, honest to God. I mean, Kane's one-day reign as a WWE champion is something that's long and forgotten. It's not even looked at as a substantial reign. It's something that's mimicked and made fun of, if anything. And it really means nothing to the career of Kane. If anything, people are going to remember Kane as the world champion in 2010, which was done too late in Kane's career. It was when Kane was way past his prime. It was when Paul Bearer wasn't cutting the best promos of his career. It was fun seeing him back promoting Kane as the world champion and being involved in the Undertaker-Kane angle, which was a revamping and retelling of the old school angle about Kane and the Undertaker back at WrestleMania 14 when it was done for the first time in '98. I mean, Kane was in his prime, yes, in '98, but now he's way past his prime, and you're doing things for the guy too fucking late. I mean, we've seen the same kind of thing with Kane. History's definitely repeating itself. We saw it with Tori, we saw it with Chyna, we saw it with Kelly, and who really has benefited in anything to do with Kane involving a love triangle? I mean, Kane definitely has had his heart broken on more than one occasion. He's probably going to have his heart broken in this storyline. It wouldn't surprise me. But the obvious outcome of this is AJ turns on CM Punk, costs him the WWE Championship, and we get a reprieve from seeing the cult of personality on top of the WWE since last summer. It's been a year of CM Punk being promoted as the top guy, the man to beat in the industry. Why isn't Kane the man to beat? Kane has been beaten since he's come back. The right way to promote the reincarnated version of Kane is to have him go undefeated for a number of months. I know you can't rewrite history and rewrite the angle of the resurrected Kane, but that is the right way to promote this guy. Promote him as somebody who could not be beaten. Have him be undefeated for a number of months. But you didn't go that route with him, and now you're consistently ruining him every week. Not only Kane, but a number of other wrestlers on the active roster are suffering from this too. Heath Slater is another one, a member of the New Talent Initiative, who is really suffering, probably more than Kane. And there are a lot of wrestlers in that same category, you're consistently making your talent suffer, and it's not the right way to market this talent, and it's not the right way to represent your company, if anything. I mean, if it's supposed to be about the New Talent Initiative, at least have them have substantial angles to be involved in and substantial gimmicks. Don't have them having to do something stupid and resort to doing something stupid every week, because you're definitely doing it with your New Talent Initiative, if anything. And it's supposed to have been about the New Talent Initiative since at least mid-2009. But unfortunately it hasn't been. So many people are suffering. More people are suffering in WWE than prospering. And I mean, Kane's career is one that I've been speculating on. Randy Orton's is another one. Seems like they're doing nothing with him. Chris Jericho's coming back. They're probably going to ruin him in a couple of days. We'll see Chris Jericho back in the WWE and get back into the swing of things after being over in the UK touring with Fozzy. They're probably going to ruin him. They're probably going to ruin Mick Foley. They're probably going to ruin all these guest general managers from the past coming back to promote the 1000th edition of Raw. Going to ruin all the past general managers, and WWE are going to be put into a grave and not be able to get themselves out of it. That's what's going to happen. They're going to dig their own grave and probably bring The Undertaker back to throw the dirt over them. Because honestly, WWE is heading in a very negative direction. Yes, they're producing ratings because WWE fans who are crazy about the fucking show are going to watch it. They're not watching it because the storylines are appealing. It's not like WCW are kicking their ass for 87 weeks. Because it's not happening. WWE realize they have no fucking competition in TNA. They realize they have no fucking competition in Ring of Honor, so they're not really producing great storylines like they were back in 97 when WCW was on the verge of putting them out of business, so they can slow down their legends and they can make their New Talent Initiative look like idiots every week, which is basically what they're doing. I mean, more people look like idiots now than they did back in the early 90s during the cartoon era. The only idiot they had was the gobbledygooker, for Christ's sake, or Doink the Clown, or somebody stupid like that who would have never went anywhere in the WWE, and even Doink would have went somewhere if you would have produced him as an evil clown, doing sick jokes, evil twisted things. If you can do it for Kane, you can do it for Doink. But you didn't. At least in the 90s, people with stupid gimmicks were being made to look like idiots. Now everybody, even substantial superstars, are being made to look like idiots, and Kane is the latest victim of anything of this. Kane is a victim. I don't see Kane's career going anywhere from this, and I definitely don't see him prospering from it. So, what's left? The World Championship angle between Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, and Alberto Del Rio. Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio at SummerSlam is the inevitable. It's bound to happen. We were supposed to get it at No Way Out because of a concussion. Del Rio was unable to compete, and it was weird seeing him compete 24 hours after No Way Out. The guy wasn't cleared to medically compete at No Way Out in 24 hours, less than 24 hours after No Way Out. He has a match against Santino Marella. What the fuck is up with that? Concussion, keeping it out of No Way Out. And then he's wrestling on Raw. It doesn't make any sense. Dolph Ziggler replaces him in the opening match of No Way Out. So the WWE World Championship angle is shit, and the World Championship angle is shit. So we have to rely on mid-card feuds to give us our money's worth for pay-per-views and WWE shows. With Raw moving to 3 hours, what you're doing with your talent is very, very drastic. WWE is treading on thin ice of losing all their fans. Honestly, if you're going to continue to embarrass Kane, Daniel Bryan was really heading in a positive direction, but you're ruining him too now, making him look like an idiot with the yes chance. I mean, what is next? I mean, you're bringing back all these legends, yes, but, I mean, the inevitable is that you're going to ruin them too and embarrass them. I mean, in no way, shape, or form should Mick Foley be embarrassed by John Laurinaitis, a guy who allows the next time we see him, it'll be for a Hall of Fame induction. That is something that will happen probably after I'm dead and a lot of you are dead. And John Laurinaitis himself is dead because the guy was shit back in the 80s. In no way, shape, nor form should a legend like Mick Foley be embarrassed by John Laurinaitis. We saw it a few months ago when Foley announced his involvement in the Royal Rumble. And we saw it here recently on Raw. And he's not the only legend that's going to be embarrassed by John Laurinaitis. There are going to be a handful of other legends coming back to promote the 1000th edition of Raw who are going to continue to be embarrassed by the likes of John Laurinaitis and David Otunga, another guy who's going nowhere. So many talents in WWE are going nowhere. It's just Kane is the latest victim when it comes to a legend. He's one of few active legends you have on the roster, and you won't even give the guy a fucking run with the WWE Championship. I am furious about it. I've been talking so positively about Kane over the last number of weeks, and it's just becoming noticeable that Kane is having nothing done with his career yet again. They bring back the resurrected Kane, an updated version of the masked Kane for the first time since 97-98. It's been over a decade since Kane's been WWE Champion. We finally see him feud for the WWE Championship. It's not like we didn't see him feud for the WWE Championship in the early 2000s, because we did. He competed in the first Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship, the World Championship to be technical. He didn't win. He was one of the first ones eliminated. I mean, honestly, you should have given him the championship, if anything, back in the Attitude Era, but you didn't. I think you're just trying to make up for lost time with Kane. I don't see Kane being the WWE Champion, but if anybody prospers, if I have hopes for anybody prospering, it's going to be AJ. I just hope more than one individual prospers from this four-way atrocity we have in WWE right now that I think not many fans are really paying attention to that probably should be. I think if more fans were raising awareness to how WWE were treating talents like Kane, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk, something will be done about it. But until more notice is given to these issues, which are reaching no point of finality, they're going to be continued to be overlooked and overshadowed, and that's the unfortunate thing about it. AJ is the one prospering, which is great for her. She's a fantastic talent, but Kane, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk are finding themselves in this proverbial corner that they're backed into, which they're not able to get themselves out of. And if there's anything to be furious about on Twitter, it's simply the situation with Kane, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk, which is really going nowhere. I'm Jonathan Clarke, inviting our fans to tell us what you think of the direction of Kane's career and the